you see? The cylinder head showed up for our billet block. You see it? The ports look good.
Yeah, looks like pretty good flow numbers.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Alrighty guys, we are back here again with Braden from Fleece Performance, and today we are going to learn all about the manufacturing process and all the little intricate detail stuff that we've gone over on the turbo kits and everything else that they make, all the little odds and ends and everything that completes the whole package of how everything gets put together here at Fleece Performance.
Okay, Greg, so like we had said earlier, like in the turbo video, we started out with like one lathe. Once we had that lathe up and rolling, we familiarized ourselves with the CNC process, kind of self-taught there, and we picked up a lot of good people, you know, as part of the team, and we have really expanded our capabilities. But we picked up when we moved here to Brownsburg, we picked up a vertical machining center, 3-axis Haas, right here behind me. I think we're making part for our new show engine display. It's a piece of, I think, 3/4 or 1 inch
For the billet block, right?
Yeah, this new billet block will be on this.
Because PRI is right around the corner, right? You're right
Yep.
now, everything's kind of a little bit in limbo.
That's how close PRI is. We've got cylinder head, dry sump oil pan to make, and another billet block that's in process. So we're gonna have we stepped our booth game up this year for sure.
But this is the room where all of the everything kind of machining happens in here.
Yeah, there's 3 vertical mills in here, 3 lathes, then we've got another vertical mill over at Freedom, much larger one. But yeah, I mean, we found out early on, maybe, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, that manufacturing our own parts and vertical integration is how you can control your quality, control the process, and costs. A lot of these fittings and stuff didn't exist. This coolant bypass, for example, was a product that we made to address the cooling system pressure issues that you have on these Dodge trucks as we run more RPM, make more horsepower. That water pump makes over 100 gallons a minute at 3,000 RPMs. Well, if it's flowing through all those block passages, you can imagine the pressure that's created with that much volume. So, you know, we steal a little bit of that flow, return it back to inlet, and we lower that volume. Doesn't sacrifice any, you know, cooling ability on the truck. It's a good part, and we tried to make that as simple and as elegant of a design that we possibly could. It's got a thermostat in the back, so you don't have to forget about a ball valve during a race, so you go open your ball valve for a bypass. But nice quality.
And this is every piece is done here.
Yeah, we tried it. Yes, everything but the thermostat.
Yep.
Well, and the bolts, but I mean, from a manufacturing like kit contents, I always tell people 75% of the stuff that's in the box when you open it up was made in our house. Yep. And that's pretty rare. Lots of fittings. This is for the LB7, the intake air heater delete. Just going the extra mile by putting a 8/27 1/8-inch pipe port in there so that you've got a good place to grab boost connection. Because that's, you know, most guys, they get a tune and on their truck and they want to put some gauges in it, and it's like, oh man, there's no good place on the Duramax. You gotta drill pipes. Well, there's your answer. Just some block off plugs, stuff we couldn't source. We can spit those out in the bar fed lathe. I'll show you. I
mean, just stuff to make the kits 100% complete. Yep. like we were talking about before, just not having to worry about running to the hardware store to Lowe's to go find a brass plug. Or
we've seen some really crazy stuff from like turbo drains, and so we came up with this design. You know, this is an original design. There's been a couple shops, I won't name them, but have knocked off these parts, and you know,
hey, that's the flattery's the
yeah, sincerest form.
Yeah, but this is a dual O-ring as opposed to you know your normal one. It's a little bit thicker or longer, I would say.
You know, it's only in there by tension, so with those 2 O-rings, that's what keeps that in the block. And but it's just a nice connection. And we offer a build-a-hose kit, so if you've got some exotic, a triple setup or something,
yep,
or a manifold flipped up and in the non-conventional location, you can make a drain with our kit, and we can still accommodate whatever you're trying to do.
So everything from the little, all the little stuff.
Yeah, this is a bracket for our hose on our coolant bypass kit. We just want you to open the box and see good quality stuff. It seems like nowadays everybody goes through the motions of putting things in the box, but then the quality and performance of that part's an afterthought. So we want everything to be 100%. Just down to the, you know, a tie rod sleeve. It's a simple, stupid part for Duramax, but you know, high quality. We knurl it so that when you're down there and you got grease all over your fingers, you can actually turn the thing. You got wrench flats, very easy, stainless steel. It's never going to rust. And then some more.
And then into the really, you know, crazy stuff.
It's the upper end.
This is the side draft that we were.
Yep.
You guys saw the other day from Freedom.
This was an experimental one where we didn't exactly have a good reference in CAD where we wanted to put our fuel rail. So they built it all out, put the fuel rail on it, put some little hex nuts on there, and then we came back and you know, we used the Faro and figured out our location of exactly where we're going to put that stuff. But this is Chase spent a lot of time, you know, on the dyno on the UCC truck and our, you know, sled pulling trucks to figure out good cylinder distribution, of good air distribution, figuring out how to get balanced air to all cylinders, because if some are starved for air, they're not producing like they could.
Yeah.
So these flow dividers in here really do the job. He was within 50 degrees across all 6 cylinders on the dyno. So, you know, that at 2,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. And that was an internal part. We're like, maybe we'll sell them. We just maybe sell them to our competition guys, and then somebody saw one on a truck, and then somebody else said something about it, and we've sold like 40 of them.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yep. And there's a lot of waste in that part. It's ideal as a cast part, but because you're machining so much of it out.
Yeah. Yep. It all starts solid.
Machining on a turbo right now. Looks like he's opening up a pocket to make room for our larger turbines. That dimension has to grow so the turbine a bigger turbine can sit in it.
So that's what's happening now, right in that one.
Yep. So this machine here is a dual spindle DS30 SSY. It's a dual spindle super speed machine with the Y-axis. So to decode all that for someone that's not a...
Speak English now, please, thank you.
Yeah, for someone that's not a machinist, this is a spindle. You know, lathes, the parts rotate, the tools are stationary. Mills, the tools rotate, the parts are stationary. This is pretty much 2 lathes facing each other. You've got the second spindle there, sub spindle, and then this is the turret, but this is a live tool lathe. So it actually has, you know, it's pretty much 2 lathes with a mill in between them. So we can do some various operations on parts, like engraving or putting flats on parts or milling flats like our tie rod sleeves, all in one machine. And the least amount of times that you touch it, or least operations, the more efficient you are, the more cost effective you can be, and we can pass that on to the customer. We bought this machine to make our camshafts in. So we can make a camshaft in 8 minutes before heat treat. All operations finished.
CP3 cams.
CP3 cam, yeah.
Right.
And then those go out to be heat treated, they come back, and then we load them up, and then they get hard turned. And that hard turning process uses and that tool's not in here right now, but it's a diamond, polycrystalline diamond PCD insert, and it's just fire coming off of the tip whenever it's being made.
That's
60
crazy.
Rockwell, which is crazy. You can't touch them with a file. Pretty cool process.
Wow.
The lathe's got a bar feeder, so it's kind of like a magazine on a gun that you can load up the bar, and this pushes it into the lathe, so it can run unattended for hours and hours. Carrying on with our manufacturing, it's difficult to bring all those parts into the machine shop and show you like what machine they were individually machined on, but or produced on. But you know, these are some downpipes for the Duramax turbos. We make this flange. That's a part that we have a CNC mandrel bending shop make for us, and then they get welded here in house and then they get, you know, obviously put into kits and finished assemblies. There's some lines that are being kitted up, drain lines and turbo feed lines. But we'll do a little walkthrough. This is turbocharger, finished turbochargers that are being pushed into pretty much the warehouse. It's not a separate room, but this is everything past this part of the pallet racking is all input materials to products we're producing or finished product. We can let's try to walk down this aisle, Greg, and just lots of little parts. I mean, there's that's a pulley spacer, you know, for our dual pump kit.
And these are like everything's made.
We make that. We spit those out in the bar feeder on the lathe, and it just one after another, like that magazine I told you. They'd load up 30 bars of. That's the top plate for the coolant bypass. Yep. coolant riser on a coming out of the oil cooler on a 4th gen. You know, this little flag, bolt retainer, O-ring. We really like O-rings and hate gaskets.
Yeah.
Because they're reusable, and you know, it's difficult to source a custom gasket, but an O-ring, you can get field replaceable O-rings, or that we make that. That's a little part we make in a 5-axis. It's a poppet.
I was going to say, what is this?
Fuel pressure, the reg return poppet. Wow. That's what goes down in that block, and it's a flow-through poppet. Works really well. These, we've got a CNC tube bender. We make these. We do the bead roll.
Yeah, with the bead roll. Yep.
And this is,
anybody could probably give you a 90-degree pipe, but if you know that little details.
Yep, a real tight bend like that too, for our turbocharger drains. Then we make the turbocharger drain fitting. There'll be some finished assemblies over here. Yeah, right here. So here's the mating piece for an LML kit. You've got that just like that, but we make those, and that gets welded here. Again, an O-ring. Nobody likes gaskets. This is a finished assembly, so that's got the O-ring in it. It's been welded, black anodized. Just a good-looking finished part.
Yep.
These were a part that you know, we try not to make everything unless somebody's providing substandard quality, is pushing our lead times out. They can't supply us the lead time that we want, you know, parts at. GM became a constraint on CP3 conversion parts. That is the adapter, the pump adapter that goes to the block. We were using so many of them, and it's one of those parts that never breaks. They kind of had to wonder, why are these guys using so many of these parts? Well, it's one that we now make by the hundreds, and it's as good or better than OE quality. And again, it's a part we brought in-house. Big stock of sensors for our data loggers. There's tap shifter parts, 2nd gen part kits, or kit parts that you know, we're having made to our spec. That's a injection molded part, rotary molded. Input materials for those coolant tanks. We make this, and factory cap goes on it.
Right, because otherwise,
you don't want to have to go have a different cap, or you know, you just want to. We try to retain as much
factory feel as
factory designs. Yeah. But improve upon them. This is one of our laser cut dual pump brackets. Kind of integrate our branding, but you know, carriage bolts, square cut holes.
Yep.
You don't have to have a nut on the back. You don't have to have another wrench on the back. You stuff them through, and you tighten them up.
And away we go.
Those are the things that make life easier, especially if it's not something, if you don't work on your truck every day and you know every bolt, every nut, bolt size, where it goes.
Yep.
Some of this stuff's intimidating.
Helps out a lot.
Yep. This is a pretty cool little part that we, it's for the Cummins, the 4th gen, to hold a, it's the coolant reroute. But we have a laser cut bracket that integrates in a little ring there, and that's the hold down. Most all of this stuff we design in CAD beforehand, so we'll test fit it on the truck. We have data sharing agreements with GM, Ford, and Dodge, and we have the entire trucks in CAD. So
really,
when we come up with a new design,
oh wow,
we bolt the parts on in CAD. We know it clears the cowl, we know it clears, you know, a bracket or the alternator or whatever.
I did not know that.
Yep.
That's wow.
Yep.
So you don't need a test mule for every generation truck part. Well, that still might happen, but at least you're somewhat prepared.
Don't tell them, because we all want to have new trucks. But lots of bolts here. But like I said before, I mean, most of our parts are our finished parts. I'd say you've got a 60 to 75% box quantity of brand new, or excuse me, in-house manufactured parts. So these are like high flow CP3 fittings. Just like we had said earlier, it's kind of a odd metric thread. I think it's an M12, and most everybody's going to use, you know, standard 3/8 and half hose, and so that's the return side, 3/8, and then this is half on the feed side.
And these are enlarged, right?
Yes.
They're not neck down.
They're as big as you can go to maintain the integrity of that thread for that M12. But it makes a nice connection at the at the CP3.
So these are also write your own design, all
Yes.
welded in here with a nice thick steel flange that we need for the tow rig to fix our exhaust problem that we're going to come home to.
Yeah. So stainless part. I mean, very very nice quality.
Already you know, flanged on the end, just not straight cut. That way you can go right, pre-made right to go to 4-inch, right?
And you're seeing these designs are you know, it's the dimensions that we want, but it's with input from you know, like I said again, some tier 1 suppliers that are, you know how to make this connection reliable, and how we should do these flanges and these thicknesses of these flanges. It's not just something we kind of guessed at. This is industry standard stuff or higher, so that we know.
These Fleece Performance downpipes are literally the best quality, and I can attest to that firsthand. Best quality fitting downpipe for a second gen swap by far. Fitting, quality, flange thickness.
And we've got them in stock.
I don't know if we can take one for carry-on. I don't know if that's carry-on material.
Try.
And then these are the coolant tanks that are all pre-stamped out.
This is from the laser cutter. And then these are the tops. I love laser cut stuff. There's a point where you just have to weld some things, and I try to keep from making welded assemblies because it's so labor intensive. It's hard to keep costs down when you've got a guy putting 8 feet of welding rod into this thing. But in terms of you know, the quality, that thing is obviously designed in CAD to fit.
Yeah, like a glove.
Yep. So what we got in the box here is our ACE line rewrap kit. We put the second gen kits on the 15 and up. Actually, it's the 13 and up.
Cummins?
Cummins, yeah, with the second gen swap. There's a lot of stuff in the way. Like I said, we were looking at how do we make this OE quality? How do we make it fit like we want it to fit? Some other kits out there like, oh yeah, just bend your line out of the way, or you know, do this, do that. Well, that's not really the way you should be doing things. So we came up with a completely new kit. It runs the AC lines down the firewall, down the frame rail, and up to the pump. All these fittings are original. We designed that. Wow, brand new. Those are our 90s. This is the adapter that goes in the pump with a hold down bolt down in the pump like that, and then our fittings.
Oh my gosh, wow. So I have not even heard about this.
That's the icing on the cake for the second gen kits. So when you want it to fit like...
And what year? 13 and up? Okay.
You have to... Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, 13 to 16, but 17 didn't change. So we'll have to update our
right, as the years go up, you can add the year at the end there.
You usually find a guinea pig guy that's like, hey, you got a 17, let me see your truck for a minute. But
that's cool.
Yeah. But anyways, it's one of those, the next step of like, hey, we want 100% quality. Customers want 100%, you know, OE quality or better, and that's what we're doing with that kit. I mean, it comes with the heat shielding, comes with good instructions.
I mean, I think the coolest part about Fleece is not Fleece Performance, it's Fleece Performance engineering. Because you guys are really, you know, just pushing the envelope. Oh, Chase just meandering in the background, coming in the closing, taking the credit. But the engineering behind all of this stuff is just truly next level, and that's what I think pushes. You know, you're leaving everybody in the dust with all the little fine details, because that's
paid for something that we opened the box and we're like, really? That's what I paid $600 for, $200 for, $20. As long as you're getting your value, people are going to be happy, and that's what we're trying to do, is engineer the value into all these parts so that you're getting what you paid for.
Yep, awesome. Well, I just want to say, you know, this might be our last video that we're showing you guys. I just want to say thank you guys to both of you guys for having me out, letting me do these videos, showing everybody, you know, what kind of top-notch quality and stuff that you guys are offering. And, you know, again, just thank you guys.
Thanks for coming out.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Alrighty guys, and that's going to wrap up and conclude our little background manufacturing, just showing you guys all the little intricate things that Fleece does here that is just, in my mind, just it's crazy, just the fine details. And that's what really makes the next level stuff. So again, huge thank you guys to Fleece for letting me come out, see all this stuff. But that's going to do it. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you've not already. If you guys see anything that you guys are interested in, fleeceperformance.com. Use GREGA. Save yourself a couple bucks. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.